students. Today we are going to learn stepper motor drives. So the stepper motor, what is stepper motor? Stepper motor can be considered as a digital electromechanical device where each step command pulse results in a movement of a shaft by a discrete angle called the step angle. When a given number of command pulses are supplied to the motor, the shaft will be turned through an angle to the specified angle. Therefore, these type of motors can be used to control the position by keeping count of the number of command pulses. So because of the simple construction and compatibility with the digital systems, this type of drives, this type of stepper motor drives can be used for many applications. Some of the applications are printers, tape drivers, disk drives, machine tools, process control systems, XY recorders, robotics, textile industry, integrated circuit fabrication, and electric watches. So the large variety of stepper motors can be characterized into three categories. First one is variable reluctance motor. In that you have two types. One is a single stack and one more is a multi-stack. Then permanent magnet and hybrid motor. One by one, let us now study the types of stepper motor drives. First one is a variable reluctance motor. So as I have told, variable reluctance can be categorized into two types. One is a single stack and multi-stack. So the first figure here, which is the single stack variable reluctance motor. So a variable reluctance motor has salient pole stator and rotor. While rotor has no windings, stator has a concentrated coils placed over the stator poles. What is reluctance here? It is the ratio of MMF to flux. As I can say, as it is defined as the opposition offered in a magnetic circuit to magnetic flux specifically. So as you can see in the figure, that is the first figure here, this figure, as you all can see, when the stator phases are excited in a definite sequence from a DC source with the help of a semiconductor switches. Here in the figure, SA, SB, SC and SD represents the semiconductor switches. The figure shown here is the first figure shown is the 4 cross 2 poles, that is 4 poles in stators and 2 poles in rotors. Single stack variable reluctance has 4 poles. Here you all can see A, B, C, D, which are connected to the source with the semiconductor switches, that is SA, SB and SC. So 4 phases are there. They are switched in the sequence, or they are excited in the sequence as A, B, C, D, A. So when the phase A is excited, reluctance torque causes the rotor to turn until it aligns with the axis of phase A. The rotor is stable in this position and cannot move until phase A is de-energized. When the next phase A is energized, that is phase B, A is de-energized and rotor turns 90 degrees in the clockwise direction. Similar switch you can observe for phase B as well as phase D. Here, as observed, rotor will take 90 degree step. The step can be reduced from 90 degree to 45 degree by exciting phases such as A plus B, B plus C, C plus D, D plus A and back to A. The second figure here you can see here what happened, the procedure when the step angle is reduced from 90 degree to 45 degree, what happens is both the phases A and phases B are excited. The resultant air gap in the field axis and therefore rotor will be 45 degree in clockwise direction. So by reversing the sequence of the switching sequence of the phase, the phase reversal can be obtained. So by various combinations of pole and various combinations of poles of rotor as well as the stator, you can have various type of steps. That is, it can be 45-degree step, either as shown in the second figure here, it can be a 15-degree shift here. And in this second figure, it is a 6 poles, 8 poles in the stator and 6 poles in the rotor. This is the rotor and stator combination, by which you can have the other combination, so that you can obtain various other step angles also. Next, we are going to move on to the multi-stack variable reluctance motor. So in multi-stack variable reluctance motor, they are mainly used to obtain smaller step sizes, that is from 2 degree to 15 degree. So multi-stack may vary from 3 stack to 7 stacks. Here in the figure, it is 3 stack variable reluctance motor. When you vary, when you want to have more stacks or when you want to have more step angle, then you can vary the number of stacks. That is, it can vary from 3 to 7. Here M stack, what is multi-stack is M stack, we will call it as M stack. That means there are M identical stacks. The rotors are mounted on the common shaft here. As you all can see, the rotors are mounted on the common shaft. The stators and rotors have the same number of poles with the some pole pitch. Pole pitch is the distance between each, or the alignment of rotor and stator will be called as a pole pitch. The figure here is a 3-stack motor parallel to the shaft. As seen in the figure, the 3 stacks are parallel to the shaft. In each stack, rotors and stators have 1 poles. Stator poles are aligned, while rotor poles are offset from each other by 1/3 of the pole pitch, or 10 degree. The difference between the angle between the rotor poles, between 2 rotor poles, is 10 degree. So this is the pole pitch. When phase A is excited, rotor poles of stack A is aligned with the stator poles. Now, if phase A is de-excited and phase B excited, rotor poles of stack B will get aligned to the stator poles. Thus, rotor will, for every excitation of each phases, rotor will move 1/3 of the pole pitch in anti-clockwise direction. That is the 10 degree. For every step, it moves for every excitation. If phase A is excited and then de-energized and then phase B is excited, rotor moves 10 degree from its original position. So the step angle can be measured, that is given by 360 degree by M into N, where M is the number of stacks here and N represents the number of rotor poles. Next is a permanent magnet. This permanent magnet, the stator of a permanent magnet stepper motor is similar to that of a single stack variable reluctance motor. Here the figure shows the permanent magnet stepper motor. When phase A is excited, the direction of current A is as shown in the figure. From the second one, you all see the figure, that is phase A is excited here. When phase A is excited with the direction of current IA, north pole of the rotor will align with the phase A pole on the left. The rotor turns 90 degree when excitation is switched from phase A to phase B. So in the figure B, you all can see here, what happens is when the phase A is excited, the current will flow through that. What happens then? The rotor will align to the phase A, that is left side. North pole will align to the left side, and when it is de-energized from the phase A and phase B is energized, it moves 90 degree from its original position. So the direction of the rotation depends on the direction of the current in phase B. When IB is when current IB is positive, the rotor turns clockwise, and when negative, it turns anti-clockwise. Thus, polarities of winding currents determine the direction of rotation, and for bidirectional operation, the provision has to be made such that the supply is given to both A as well as the phase B. Both the phases, if the supply is given, you can have bidirectional rotation of rotor. This is regarding permanent magnet. So the next figure is the disc type permanent magnet stepper motor. We will study the disc type permanent magnet stepper motor. So the construction is, the rotor is a thin disc. Between is a rotor, that is a thin disc made up of rare earth magnetic material. So the disc is magnetized with alternating north and south poles. See, you all can the figure is, you all can see here, the disc is magnetized with alternating north and south poles. Because the disc is very thin, it can be magnetized up to 100 individual tiny magnets evenly spaced around the edge of the disc. So simple C-shaped two stationary field poles. You all can see this C-shaped field poles which are placed on either side. They are offset by half of a rotor pole pitch. That is, the pole pitch between each of these coils is half pole pitch, that is 90-degree pole pitch, we can say, from two phases. When one of the phase is energized, let us consider the right side phase is energized, the rotor will align itself with its field pole. When excitation is shifted to another phase, that is, when excitation is shifted to the left phase, the rotor will turn by half of the rotor pole pitch in order to align with the second field pole. This way, this disc type permanent magnet stepper motor will rotate and the operation is carried out. This is regarding this type permanent magnet stepper motor. Next one is hybrid type stepper motor. So in hybrid type, it is a combination of features of variable reluctance and permanent magnet motors. This is achieved by incorporating an axial permanent magnet in the middle of the rotor. The construction here is similar to the rotor of a variable reluctance motor. So the advantages of using this hybrid motor is it can produce a small step length, that is 1.8 degree. So it can also produce a greater torque per unit volume and some detent torque, but it is more expensive when compared to variable reluctance motor. So the cross section of hybrid step motor is shown in the figure, which can produce a step of 1.8 degree. The stator has 8 poles here, each with 1 coil and 5 teeth. 1 coil and there are 5 teeth. You can see here the teeth in between. There are 5 teeth, 1 coil. Rotor has 2 end caps here. This is, rotor has 2 end caps, each with 50 teeth and separated by a permanent magnet. These both are separated by permanent magnet, that is north as well as south pole. You all can see these are the permanent magnets. Rotor has end caps. These are end caps, and the end caps are separated by a pole, that is north and south poles. The teeth on both the end caps of the rotor have the same pitch as the teeth on the stator poles. So the same teeth combination here, you can see as 5 teeth. The same teeth combination is also there on the rotor end caps. Okay. Teeth of 2 end caps are offset from each other by 1 tooth pitch, so that a tooth on one end cap coincides with the slot at the other. Here, the teeth of the 2 end caps are offset, that is the alignment between the teeth in the 2 end caps, such that the one tooth from this stator, so that whenever the motor is rotated, it has to coincide the slots of the stator has to coincide with the rotor slot, so that rotor slots, so that the pitch is one tooth pitch. The permanent magnet is actually magnetized. Therefore, teeth on the left end of the rotor are given the north polarity, and those on the right end the south polarity. So two end caps here. One end cap is given the north polarity. The other end cap is given the south polarity. The coils on the poles, on the stator poles, that is 1, 3, 5 and 7 are connected in series to form a phase A, and poles on 2, 4, 6 and 8 to form a phase B. When phase A carries positive current, stator poles 1 and 5 become south poles, and 3 and 7 becomes the north pole. So the rotor teeth with north and south polarity align with the teeth of stator poles 1 and 5 and 3 and 7 respectively. When phase A is de-energized and B is energized, rotor will move by 1/4 of the tooth pitch, that is 1.8 degree. The rotor can be stepped anti-clockwise by energizing the sequence in reverse order. So next is the important features of stepper motor. Stepper motors have various advantages as well as disadvantages. First, let us see advantages. They are compatible with digital system and they do not require any analog to digital conversion at the input, as you all can see in type of other conventional motors. While simple loop open control is good enough for the control of position and speed, it can also be used in closed loop position and speed control system with either analog or digital feedback. So a wide range of step angles is available, that is from 1.8 degree to 90 degree. So the range of torque is from 1 micro nanometer to 50 nanometer. Bidirectional control is also available. Maximum torque occurs at low pulse rate. The stepper motor can accelerate easily. Low speeds are possible without reduction in gear. Moment of inertia is usually low. The starting current is also low. Multi-stepper motors driven from the same source can maintain a perfect synchronism. Here, these are the advantages of stepper motor drives. Now let us see disadvantages. The efficiency is very low. Proper matching between load motor and its drive is required. Resonance becomes a problem when operated with variable reluctance motor. These are the important features that are the disadvantages and advantages of stepper motor drives. Next one is a torque versus stepping rate characteristics. These are important to know the operation of stepper motor. So as the stepping rate is increased, the rotor has less time available to drive the load from one position to the next. Beyond a certain pulsing rate, a rotor can follow the command and begins to miss the pulses. If the values of load torque and pulsating rate are such that the point of operation lies to the left of curve 1 as shown in the figure. 1 and 2 are the two curves. As said, the values of a load torque and pulsating rate are such that the point of operation lies in the left of curve 1. Then the motor can start and also synchronize without missing a pulse. For example, for the load torque TL, the motor can start and also synchronize without missing a pulse if the stepping rate is less than S1. Once the motor has started and synchronized, the stepping rate can be increased for the same load torque without missing a step. For a load torque TL1, after starting and synchronization, the step rate can be increased up to S2 as shown in the figure S2 without missing a step or without losing its synchronism. If the stepping rate is increased beyond S2, then the motor will lose its synchronism and it will start missing the step. Thus, area between this curve 1 and curve 2 represents for various values of torque the range of stepping rate which motor can follow without losing a step. It has already been started and synchronized beforehand. This area is known as a sleeve range and motor is said to be operated in sleeving mode. Sleeve range is useful for speed control and it is not suitable for position control here. At the stepping rate corresponding to sleeve range, the motor can be started or reversed without losing the step. This is regarding torque versus stepping rate characteristics. Next, we will move on to drive circuits for stepper motor. This is a drive circuit for stepper motor. So a stepper motor is usually driven from a low voltage DC source. Here VD is a low voltage DC source in the figure. When phase is to be energized, the DC source is connected to the phase by a semiconductor switch. Yes, the phase current builds up at the rate decided by the phase windings electrical time constant. Here phase winding is represented in the figure. You all can see that is phase which is represented, that is a phase winding. The phase current will build up in the time which is decided by the electrical time constant. When the phase is to be de-energized, switch is turned off, which transfers the current to freewheeling diode DF. DF is a freewheeling diode here. The current drops to zero again at the rate decided by the time constant of the phase winding. More torque, which is a function of phase current, builds up and decays in the same manner. In order to maximize torque capability of a stepper motor, drive circuit should be such that the current build up and decay should be as fast as possible. Ideally is also shown here. In drive circuit also we have unipolar drive and bipolar drive here. So unipolar variable reluctance motor. So unipolar variable reluctance motor with chopper circuit, it has some drawback in unipolar variable reluctance motor due to the presence of the resistance RE, external resistance RE. Then the drive circuit is used here. So what happens in drive circuit is, to energize the phase, semiconductor switches S1 and S2 are closed at T is equal to 0 here. So first what we will do is we will learn what is unipolar drive and then later come for the with a chopper principle. First, in case of variable reluctance motor, phase currents need only be switched on or off and the current polarity doesn't matter here. A simple unipolar drive circuit is shown here for low power two-phase variable reluctance motor. When switch S1 is closed, phase A winding is connected to the DC source VD and the phase current builds up, and when it is opened, the phase current decays in the freewheeling path consisting of phase A, DF and RF. The external resistor RE reduces the electrical time constant, thereby speeding up the current buildup. Value of external resistance RE is chosen such that to fix the value of electric time constant, and then the source voltage VD is chosen to produce the rated current IR in the phasor winding. Thus it is given as VD is equal to IR into RE plus RP, where RP is the phase winding resistance. Here the formula is given, VD is equal to IR into RE plus RP. Next is During on period of the switch, phase current also flows through the external resistance Re, causing major proportion of the energy drawn from the source to be dissipated in Re. The energy stored in the phase winding inductance during on period of the switch is all dissipated in the freewheeling circuit resistance when switch is turned off. Because of these energy losses, the unipolar circuit is said to be highly inefficient and it is used only for low power stepper motors. So an efficient unipolar drive circuit which is capable of providing fast current buildup and decay is using Chopper circuit principle. So circuit shown is the first figure for only one phase. Each phase will employ a similar circuit here. The DC source voltage can be much larger than in the drive circuit. To energize the phase, when you can see this figure, to energize the phase, semiconductor switches S1 and S2 are closed at time t is equal to 0. In the second figure, you can see the waveform. So to energize the phase, semiconductor switches S1 and S2 are closed at t is equal to 0. This connects the phase winding to the DC source voltage Vd and phase current IPH build up very fast. When it crosses the rated current IR by a prescribed amount, S1 is switched off. The phase current freewheels through S2 and D2 and decreases below IR. After fixed interval, S1 is turned on and phase current IPH increases. When it exceeds the rated current IR by the prescribed amount, again S1 is turned off. Thus, alternatively turning the switch S1 on and off, the phase current value is maintained to be nearly IR. At t is equal to T0 plus T, what happens? The phase is de-energized. You all can see here, the phase is de-energized by turning off both S1 and S2. Phase current now follows through the path consisting of D1, source Vd and D2. The major proportion of energy stored in the phase winding inductance is fed back to the source Vd. Since phase current has to flow against a large voltage Vd, it decays fast to 0. This is the Chopper principle of unipolar drive, variable reluctance drive. The last one is a bipolar variable reluctance drive. A simple bipolar variable reluctance drive is as shown in the figure here. Each phase will employ a similar circuit here. The phase winding carries a positive current when semiconductor switches S1 and S2 conduct, and it carries a negative current when S3 and S4 conducts. The phase winding is energized with the positive current when S1 and S2 are turned on. The external resistance, which is represented here in the dotted line, the external resistance Re reduces the electrical time constant, allowing rapid buildup of the phase current. Vd and Re are chosen to satisfy this equation, that is Vd is equal to IR into Re plus Rp. The phase is de-energized by turning off S1 and S2. Winding current now flows through the path consisting of D3, source Vd, T4. The major proportion of energy stored in the phase winding inductance is fed back to the source and phase current decays rapidly to 0. Due to the presence of external resistance Re, the drive circuit becomes inefficient. By eliminating this resistance from this figure, when you eliminate Re, to energize the phase winding with positive current, S1 and S2 are turned on. The phase current builds up rapidly. When it exceeds the rated current by prescribed amount, S1 is turned off. The phase current freewheels through S2 and diode D4. After a fixed interval, S1 is turned on again. Thus, phase current fluctuates around the rated value IR. When the phase is to be de-energized, both S1 and S2 are turned off. winding current flows through the path consisting of D3, source VD, and D4. Phase current decays rapidly and energy stored in the winding inductance is recovered by the supply. This is the working of bipolar drive for low power variable reluctance motor. Here in this bipolar drive is for variable reluctance motor as well as permanent magnet and hybrid motors. Mainly it is used for permanent magnet and hybrid motors. So the main application for stepper motor is been satisfied. Therefore, drives with chopper principle gives more value than the drives without the chopper principle, that is use of external resistance RE. This is the main default in the stepper motor drives. Thus we will conclude by saying that stepper motors are being widely used, stepper motor drives are being widely used due to its simple in construction and working principle.